afternoon, Ajahn.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Let us pay respect to Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. To begin with the chanting, we will invite Ajahn to lead us in the chanting, please.
Okay, so we start with the Karaniyamatta Sutta. Karaniyamatta kusalena yantang santang patang abhisame cha sakko uchu cha suhushu cha suwacho cha samuthu anatimani santu sako cha suparo cha appakicco cha sallahukavutti santintriyo cha nipako cha appakappo kulesu ananukitto naจะคุดทั้งสมาจาเรกินจิเยนะวินโยปะเรอุปวัฏยงสุขิโนวาเคมิโนโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตาตาเยเกจิปานะภูตัตถิตสาวาทาวราวาอนวเสสาทีขาวาเยมหันตาวามัชฌิมาราสกาอนุกทุราทิทาวาเยจะอทิทาเยจะทุเรวสันติอวิทุเรปูตาวาสัมภเวสีวาสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตาตานาปโรปรังนิโกเพทนันติมันเยทกัตถจินังกินจิพยาโรสนาปฏิกสัญญานัญญมัญญัสสะทุกขมิจฉยมาตายธานิยังปุตตังอายุสาเอกปุตตมนุรักเขเอวัมปิสัพพภูเตสุมาณสัมภาวะเยอปริมาณังเมตัญจะสัพพะโรกัสมิงมานะสัมภาวะเยอปริมาณังอุทธังอโทจติริยัญจะอสัมภาทังอเวรังอสปัตตังทิฏฐัญจรังนิสินโนวาสยาโนวายาวตัสสวิคตมิโทเอตังสติงอทิฏฐิยพรหมเมตังวิหารังอิทธมาหุทิฏฐินจะอนุปคัมมาสีรวาทัสสเนนะสัมปันโนกาเมสุวินัยเขทังนะหิชาตุคัพพะสยยังปุณเรติติ We do the translation. Now let us chant the Buddha verse on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another, or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of visions, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. หันธรรมยังอุทิศนาทิธานาคาทายโยพนามาเสอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอุปัชฌายาคุณุตตราอาจาริโยปการาจะมาตาปิตาจะยาตกาสุริโยจันทิมาราชาคุณวันตานราปิจารัมมมาราจะอินทาจะโลกปาลาจะเทวตายาโมมิตามนุสสาจะมัชฌตตาเวริกาปิจาสัพเพสัตตาสุขีโหนตุปุญญานิปกตานิเมสุขันจติวิทังเทนตุขิปังปาเปทโวมะตังอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอิมินาอุทิเสนาจะขิปาหังสุรเพเจวตันหุปาฐานเชทนังเยสันตาเนหินาธรรมายาวะนิพพานโตมะมังนัสสันตุสัพพทาเยวะยัตถชาโตภเวภเวอุชุจิตตังสติปัญญาสันเลโควิริยัมหินามาลารพันตุโนกาสังกาตุนจาวิริเยสุเมพุทธาธิปวโรนาโทธัมโมนาโทวรุตตโมนาโทปัจเจกพุทโธจะสังโฆนาโทตโรมะมังเตโสตมานุภาเวนะมาโรกาสังลพันตุมา Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the suns and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirit of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through these acts of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge, unsurpassed is the protections of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all this, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. หันธรรมยังเมตตาภารนังกโรมาเสอาหังสุขิโตโหมินิทุโคโหมิอเวโรโหมิอัพยาปโชโหมิอานิโคโหมิสุขีอัตตานังปริหารามิสัพเพสัตตาสุขิตาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอเวราโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอัพยาปชาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอนิคาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาสุขีอัตตานังปริหารันตุสัพเพสัตตาสัพพทุกขาปมุญจันตุสัพเพสัตตาลัทธสัมปติโตมาวิคันชันตุสัพเพสัตตากัมมสกากัมมทายาทากัมมโยนิกัมมพันธุกัมมปฏิสารนายังกัมมังกริสันติกัลยาณังวาปาปะกังวา ตัสสะทายาทาภเวสันติ Now that the chants are reflections on universal well-being, may I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intentions, all beings are the owners of their actions and inherit its results. Their future is born from such actions, companion to such actions, and its results will be their home. All actions with intentions, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts, they will be the heirs. ดูรัตนสุตตะยังกินจีวิตังอิทวาหุรังวาสัพเพสุวายังรัตนังปณิตังนโนสมังอาทิตถาคเตนะอิธัมปิพุทเทรัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุขยังวิราคังอมตังปณิตังยทัจฉคาสักยมุนีสมาหิโตนะเตนะธัมเมนะสมาธิกินจิธัมปิธัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุยังพุทธเศรษโธปริวันนะเยสุจิงสมาธิมานันตริกัญญมาหุสมาธินาเตนะสโมนะวิชชติธัมปิธัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุเยปุคคลาอัตถสตังปัสสัทธาจะตาริเอตานิยุคานิโหนติเตทักขินัยยาสุขตัสสะสาวกะเอเตสุทินนานิมหัพพลานิอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุเยสุปยุตตามนัสสาทละเหนานิกามิโนโคตมัสสาสนัมหิเตปัตติปัตตาอมตังวิคัยหลัตถามุทานิพุติงพุญชมานะอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุยทินทคีโรปัทวิงสิโตสิยาจตุพิวาเตปิอสัมปกัมปิโยตถุปะมะสัพปุริสังวทามิโยอริยสัจจานิอเวจปัสสติธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุเยอริยสัจจานิวิภาวยันติคัมภีรปัญเยนะสุเทสิตานิกินจาปิเตโหนติปุสัพปมัตตานะเตภวังอัตธรรมมาทิยันติธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุสหาวัสสทัสสนะสัมปทายตยาสุธัมมะจหิตาภวันติสักกายทิฏฐิวิจิกิจฉิตัญจสีรัพพตังวาปิยทัตติกินจิจตุอปาเยหิจวิปปมุตโตชจาพิธานานิอภัพโภกาตุอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุกินจาปิโสกัมมังกโรติปาปะกังกายเยนะวาจาอุทธเจตสาวาอภัพโพโสตัสสะปฏิจจทายะอภัพพตาทิฏฐปตัสสะวุตตาอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุวั นัพพคุมเพยถาปุสิตาเคคิมหานามาเสปัทมสมิงคิมเหตทุปมาธรรมวรังอเทสยินิพพานาคามิปรมังหิตายะอิธัมปิพุทเทรัตนังปณิตาเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัจจิโหตุวโรวรัญยุวรโทวราหาโรอนุตตโรธรรมวรังอเทสยิธัมปิพุทเทรัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัจจิโหตุขีนังปุรานังนวังนัตถิสัมภวังวิรัตจิตตายติเกภวัสมิงเตขีนะพีชาอวิรุณหิฉันทานิพันติธีระยถายัมปทิโปอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัจจิโหตุ The translation Jiva discourse whatever treasures is here or beyond or precious jewel in the heavens none is equal to the perfect one in the Buddha is this precious jewel by this truth may there be well-beings the calm Sakayan sage found cessation dispassions the deathless the sublime there is nothing equal to that jewel by this truth may there be well-beings that purity praised by the Supreme Buddha calls concentration with immediate result. That concentration has no equal. In the Dhamma is this precious jewel. By this truth may there be well-beings. The 8 persons placed by the good. These 4 pairs are the gift-worthy disciples of the well-gone one. Gifts to them yield abundant fruit. In the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this truth, may there be well-beings. With mind well established, free from sense pressures, firm in Gautama's teachings, on attaining their goals, they plunge into the deathless, freely enjoy the perfect peace they have gained. In the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this truth, may there be well-beings. As a post firmly grounded in the earth cannot be shaken by the 4 winds, so is the superior persons, I say, who definitely sees the noble truth. In the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this truth, may there be well-beings. Those who comprehend the noble truths, well taught by him of deep wisdom, even if they were slightly negligent, would not take an eighth existence. In the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this truth, may there be well-beings. For one who has attained to visions, 3 states are at once abandoned. Will of self, doubt, righteous, and cling of needless rules and rituals, free from 4 states of misery. He cannot do 6 kinds of evil deeds. In the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this truth, may there be well-beings. Though one might do some evil deed by body, speech, or mind, he cannot hide it. Such is impossible for one who has seen the path. In the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this truth may there be well-beings. Like woodland groves in blossom in the first heat of summer, so is the most excellent Dhamma that he taught, leading to Nibbana, the highest good. In the Buddha is this precious jewel. By this truth may there be well-beings. He, the best one, beyond compare, knower, giver, and bringer of the best, taught the most excellent Dhamma. In the Buddha is this precious jewel. By this truth may there be well-beings. Their past is extinct with no new arising. Their mind is not drawn to future birth. Their old seeds destroyed. The wise go out just like these lamps. In the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this truth may there be well-beings. Okay, now we do the Mangala Sutta. เอวังเมสุตังเอกังสมยังภัคควาสาวัตถิยังวิหารติเชตวเนอนาถปินทิกาสอาราเม อัตถโคอัญญตราเทวตาอภิกกันตายรัตติยาอภิกกันตวันนาเกวลกัปปังเชตวันังโอภาเสตวาเยนะภควาเตนุปสังกมิอุปสังกมิตวาภควันตังอภิวาเทตวาเอกมันตังอัฏฐาสิเอกมันตังทิตาโคสาเทวตาภควันตังคาถายะอาชภาสีพหุเทวามนุสสาจามังคลานิอจินตยุงอากังขมานาโสธานังพรูหิมังคลมุตตมังอเสวนาจะพาลานังปันทิตานันจะเสวนาปูชาจะปูชนียานังเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังปฏิรูปเทสวาโสจาปุพเพจักกตปุญญาตาอัตตสัมมาปณิทิจาเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังพาหุสัจจันจะสิปปัญจาวินโยจะสุสิกิโตสุภาสิตาจะยาวาจาเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังมาตาปิตุอุปัฏฐานังพุทธทารัสสะสังฆโหอนาคุลาจะกัมมันตาเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังทานันจะธรรมจริยาจายาตกานันจะสังฆโหอนวัชชานิกัมมานิเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังอารติวิรติปาปามัชฌปานาจะสัญญโมอัปปมาโทจะธรรมเมสุเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังคารโวจานิวาโตจาสันตุทิจักตัญยุตากาเลนะธรรมัสสวนังเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังขันติจะโสวจัสสตาสมนานันจะทัสสนังกาเลนะธรรมสากัจฉาเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังตโปจะพรหมจริยัญจาอริยสัจจานัทัสสนังนิพพานสัจจิกิริยาจาเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังพุทธัสสโลกธรรมเมหิจิตตังยัสสานกัมปติอโศกังวิรชังเขมังเอตัมมังคลมุตตมังเอตาทิสานิกตวานาสัพพัทธมปราชิตาสัพพัทธโสทิงคัจฉันติตันเตสังมังคลมุตตมันติ Now let us chant the verses on the highest blessings. Thus have I heard that the blessed one was staying at Savatthi, residing at the Jeta Grove in Anathapindika's park. Then in the dark of the night, a radiant Deva illuminated all Jeta groves. She bowed down low before the blessed one. Then standing to one side, she said, Deva are concerned for happiness and ever long for peace. The same is true for humankind. What then are the highest blessings? Avoiding those of foolish ways, associating with the wise, and honoring those worthy of honor. These are the highest blessings. Living in places of suitable kinds, with the fruits of past good deeds, and guided by the rightful way. These are the highest blessings. Accomplished in learning and craftsman skills, with discipline highly trained, and speech that is true and pleasant to hear. These are the highest blessings. Providing for mother and father support, and cherishing family, and ways of work that harm no being. These are the highest blessings. Generosities and a righteous life, offering help to relatives and kin, and acting in ways that leave no blame. These are the highest blessings. Steadfast in restraint and shunning evil ways, avoiding intoxicants that dull the mind, and heedfulness in all things that arise. These are the highest blessings. Respectfulness and being of humble way, contentment and gratitude, and hearing the Dhamma frequently taught. These are the highest blessings. Patience and willingness to accept one's faults, seeing venerated seekers of the truth, and sharing often the words of Dhamma. These are the highest blessings. Ardents committed to the holy life, seeing for oneself the noble truths and the realizations of Nibbana. These are the highest blessings. Although in contact with the world, unshaken the mind remains, beyond all sorrow, spotless, secure. These are the highest blessings. They who live by following this path know victory wherever they go, and every place for them is safe. These are the highest blessings.
We now request for the 3 refuge, 5 and 8 precepts together. We begin by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama dutiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama tatiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
พุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
พุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ติสรณคัมมนังนิธิตัง
ธัมมบันเต
ปานาติปาตาเวระมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
ปานาทิปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสัมมาทิยามิ
อทินนาทานาเวระมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อดินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสัมมาทิยามิ
กาเมสุมิชฌาจาราเวระมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัชฌปมาทัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัจจปมาทัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Now for the eighth preceptorอพรหมจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อภรหมจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
วิกาลโภชนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
วิกาลโภชนะเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจคีตะวัชิตะวิสุขทัสสนามาราคันทวิเลปนะธารณมันดนะวิปูสนาฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจกิตาวริตาวิสุขาดัสสนามาลากันดาวิเลปนะดารณามันดนะวิบูสนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อุจจาสยนามหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อุจจาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิปัญจอัฏฐสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
สีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปทาสีเลนะนิพุติยันติตัสสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
สาธุสาธุสาธุ Let us bow 3 times again. Let's bow. Bow. Let's bow. We now formally request for the Dhamma Talk.
Brahma Jaloka Thikpakti Sahang Pakti Kaktan Jalian Thikwagrang Ayajatha Santi Thaksakta Pakrabja Khakjaktika Thế se thủ thắng mang anu kaang big mang pak jiang
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังนะมะสามิ Okay, so Fridays again, and this is special day is one Pra, the Ubosatha day, the 15 days of no moons. I just finished the Patimokkha. We have the Patimokkha at 2 in the afternoon, and we have 8 monks here in Wat Pabulam. Preparing for the rain. We are doing some classroom. It's gonna be the special Pansa this year because in the Buddhist traditions, monastery, we normally in the forest tradition we usually focus on more meditations, but since I was just study Pali and Abhidhamma, so I would like to to mix that in somehow with the practice. So I will try to maybe have some classroom and to kind of supplement of the meditation with some pariyatti teaching that I think is so many sutta, many vinaya and many abhidhamma in the Tipitaka that is worth studying, and that will be the foundation for practice. And it's like you have the good study of the map. So there will be a few monks who are express some interest to have this kind of exploratory practice in terms of doing the pariyatti and patipatti together. This is my whole very since the early years of my monk training. I think these two things should go together hand in hand by study pariyatti, and then when we practice, then it should complement each other in the way that we can. It's like traveling with the map. You need a map, and you also need to travel as well, and those have to match each other. So yes, normally it's for the monks to spend the vasa is more good. It's better to arrive first, maybe a month earlier to prepare the thing. So there are so many things to tidy up the place, arrange the sangha storerooms, the library, the sewing goodies, all those things that so that when we entering the rain, we have something ready. So that what we are been doing in the past few weeks, try to do a big cleaning and do other things, preparing for the vasa. So this is the last Ubosata day, and the next one will be the Asaraha, entering the rain. And another important day today is also happen to be my birthday as well. So it's coincide. My birthday happened to be on the one pra, which is very nice. And last night we are just finishing the Maranasati Sutta, because we also have many lay people coming. Maybe some of them maybe decided whether they want to spend the rain with us or not. So we have few of the lay people, including some Canadian also. Somehow they would like to try it out this kind of lifestyle. And because our monastery is by the river Moon, and we have to go across the river every day. So it's kind of to be caution. Every people who visit, we will have them fill in the guest informations and all those things. And part of that is also what we call the what to do if anything happened, like some accident, because it's happened before. The boat might be flipping in the river, and all of a sudden it's gone. So we want them to think about that first. What to do if they, if they die, for example. What to do with their bones, and how many days they want to burn their body, or who is contact, a family contact that we can do, because otherwise it can be difficult for us. And also with that, we also add, if in case of like terminal illness, like some people have some terminal illness, or what they want to do in terms of the supporting or prolonged life. So we have them think about that, and then have it in the written forms. In a way, it's just a way of contemplate death, which is I think it's very appropriate in this situation, especially when we have this pandemic. and actually in Thailand it's getting worse now. In Bangkok, it's getting approaching 10,000 report case, and probably a lot more with this unreported. And the hospital, the bed are all ICU bed are all filled up. So today they announced of locking down for another 2 weeks. So I happened to escape Bangkok in times. But this thing can happen. Even though the monks here we got all vaccinated, but it's still not sure how bad the situation with the new strain, getting more resistant to the vaccines and all those things. So thinking about death is one way that actually it will come for sure. Everything else we're not sure about it, but everybody gonna die one day or the other, and that is for sure. So it's good to think about that and to arouse the energy of we don't have much time. So whatever time that we have left, so we should make the well use of that opportunity. So when we contemplate death, we have to have 3 things in mind. They call the Dhamma that you have to establish in yourself before you can contemplate death. The first one is called mindfulness. The mindfulness is very important because if you don't have mindfulness, you can either be delight. Say if your enemy die, you are very happy, or if your friend die, then you'll be very sad. So the mindfulness is to prevent you from getting into those extreme, either go to happy or sad by either your friend or your enemy die. The mindfulness make you in the middle ground, stay in the middle. And then the second one you have to have in your mind is called Samvega. Samvega is called, the meaning is mean urgency. It's also for people like somebody you don't know, the one who work in the gas station or the one remotely from you. When you heard the news that such and such people die, you doesn't feel anything just because it's so far away. So the Samvega, the sense of urgency, is to see the connection that even though it might be other people, but somehow we are shared in that we are the same human beings. We are beings that is afraid of death, and so whatever happened to these people, one day will happen to us as well. So it's aroused the sense of urgency that we can't just be relaxed and say, okay, it's not my turn now. I escaped. So this will prevent from getting distant, too distant from the event. And the last quality that you have is called jnana, or wisdom. This to prevent from getting afraid, because when you contemplate of death with yourself, normally you have the reactions of afraid, and you are fear. You don't want to die. So you need the wisdom to see that whatever dying is just mind and material. It's the body and mind. It's just 5 aggregate that is arising and passing away. It just happened to be that it's shifting from one existence to the next existence according to the karma. But it's not belong to you. You don't have any control over what gonna happen. But you identify with these 5 khandha. So you need the wisdom to see that. Otherwise you get afraid and fear of death. It's just a process of, it's just natural process. Whatever arising, passing away, and then arising again according to the karma. So this is the process of continuity of this flow of mental and material, what we call me and mine. It's been going on for uncountable eons and many existence, and will go on for indefinite until we understand it and we able to pull out of this samsara. So this is a 3 quality that we have to cultivate or develop before we contemplate death. Because normally, if we contemplate death for enemy, we will feel happy. If it's death for our friend, we will feel sad. So we need mindfulness for that to prevent from these 2 from happening. And if we contemplate the neutral people, the people who we don't know, then the sense of detached, the sense of it's nothing to do with me, it doesn't my business. Yeah. Then you need the samvega or urgency to see the connection. And then the sense of fear, if you contemplate death about yourself, you need the wisdom to see that it's not anybody, it's just the process of mind and materials arising and passing away. Yeah. And another thing that I think is very important is the sense of refuge. As Buddhists, we have the triple gems, the one that we just chant, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. I think this is very important because if you don't have that refuge, it's very scary. And that's why in the West, not many people are willing to think about death. It's become the culture of try to forget death. We live in the place where we surround ourselves with the high buildings and the money in the banks and all those things, and we think we're gonna live forever. And the whole environment we try to set up just to reassure us that we will stay forever, and the building will stay there, our money in the bank will be there, and we will continue on one way or the other. So it's very difficult. It's not like you live in the forest where you see everything is changing. The trees changing, your hut, your kutis is changing very quickly. So you have to see the changing world around you all the time. But when you live in the city, in the control situation, then you almost forget that you are also impermanent. So I remember when I teach in the West, and usually in the West, the popular subject is loving kindness, because they love this loving kindness. It's easy to teach. But when I started teaching in the monastery, and I feel like, oh, why don't I teach them what they rarely hear? So I start to teach about unattractiveness and about death and all those things, and people are unhappy about that, and they say that I'm not pleasing the customer. So they use the market to determine whether what I'm teaching is appropriate or not. So whatever the customer say, customer always right. So you have to adjust your teaching according to the customer. So that's why the teaching like this will never be popular, because the market doesn't like it. But I think it's very important. And I was thinking why these people doesn't want to hear this. I think one of the reasons is because they don't have a refuge. They don't have the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. So you don't have any place to stand on. It's no ground. Almost like you need the ground to stand on, to look at death and not identify with it. But if you don't have the place to stand, it's very scary, because it's like you are dropping down from the helicopter and there's no ground, and it's just very scary. So you need some kind of the refuge. And when we have the Buddha as our example of the people who can transcend death and who can understand the truth and who can communicate his teaching, and we have the Dhamma that is the explaining what he experienced, and then we have the community of Sangha who listen and understand and put it to practice. So it's not become just philosophy, it's become the way of life, it become the living force. So unless you have these triple gems, it's very difficult for people to contemplate death. That's why they usually not like to contemplate on that. It doesn't feel uplifting and joy. But when we do that every day, it's like in the monastery, every day we reflect upon death. It's one of the part of the chanting. I think we didn't do that. No? We do just Metta and Ratana Sutta and Mangala Sutta. Maybe we add it later, maybe when you are ready. But I think it's very important to contemplate on that. They call the 5 subjects of frequently recollection by the lay people. You have 5. First is I'm subject to old age. I am subject to sickness, and I am subject to death. And all of my beloved one, I will be separated from them. And only thing that belong to me is my own karma. I will be the inherit of my own karma, whatever good or bad. I will be the result of that karma will return to us. So this is the 5 subject of recollections that is supposed to do every day. So it's good to remind ourselves and not get lost in the kind of the worldly way. I mean, we have to earn a living and all those, but sometimes we forget that we will someday will go old and sick and die. So we are almost in the world where we can prevent from us from thinking about old age, sickness, and death. But I think the COVID is bring us back to the whatever the nature is. The body is subject to sickness and maybe die. If we don't have enough oxygen, or the bed is full, and if our illness is sick enough, then that's what happened. So sometimes we can't have anything. When we try our best, try to stay with the measure, but sometimes it happen. So we have to prepare for that as well. We do the best we can, but we have to prepare for the worst. So if the days come, then are we ready for that? Are we if we attach COVID, we got some cold, and then they put that in the hospital, surrounded by nobody except people with the full mask, and we are alone there, and with the breathing machine. What we do then? What is our refuge? So it's good to prepare for that, because it might be real, with this kind of pandemic. So this is a very, very good way of preparing. It's good to prepare when you are healthy, because when you are sick, it's very difficult. You don't have this strong mind, and everything is around you. You have no control. So you can do it when you have almost everything in control. But think about that, and one by one you slowly train yourself in case you are in that situation. So contemplating on death is one thing that is very important. It's arouse the energy, the urgency that we don't have much time. Whatever time we have left, we try our best to cultivate the wholesome thing that haven't arisen. Whatever arisen, we try to cultivate into full perfection, and we try to prevent the unwholesome from happening. Whatever unwholesome, we try to abandon, and that is the whole meaning of life. Is just to try to seek the freedom, freedom from this samsara, of this old greed, hatred, and delusion that keep us trapped in this samsara. So with that is we chant and recollect that every day, and sometimes we put it in writing. What happened in Buddhism, sometimes we just think about it, what you're gonna do if that happened, and who you're gonna leave the decision. Yes, because sometimes you are in a position where you can't make any decision. You have your tube over your mouth and your throat, so you better assign somebody who you trust, who you think the same way as you, and that person will make decision for you. Because otherwise, then it might be difficult, because people don't know what you want, and especially for the people with terminal illness, it's good to have some thing writing down what did you want to do about your body. If it's basically it's hopeless, it's only gonna going down, and all they do is just prolong your life without any have a possibility of cure. So this is different from COVID, of course. And the COVID is something that we should do everything, because you can maybe return back to the normal state. But in case of like the terminal illness, like terminal cancer and all those things, because it's good to arrange everything and to make it smooth. So there are like 6 principles to prepare for that. First is to establish the loving kindness. First of all, because when people about to die, the worst thing that they fear is that they will die alone. So you have to make kind of connection that I will not neglect you. We will stay there together. So they need confirmation that your friend will be with you. So that's the first one. The second one, then you have to look at time to tell the truth about your terminal illness, because you have to look at the people whether he is ready or not. So that's why the first stage is you have to have the first stage first, where the patient feel the sense of connection. He has a friend who can support him, and then he'll be ready, and then you can give him a truth that you might you have this end state, whatever, you might live for another few months, so it will provide them for time to settle their business, to basically do what they need during the time that they have left. And then the third one is to recollect the goodness in their life. It's good to write down whatever you do, the list of that. So when the death comes, then you can go by the list. This year I'm donate such and such money to this monastery, or to this school, or to this hospital, and that you have a sense of giving up, the sense of meaning in your life, that the fact that you are born, you make something better. The world is better because of you somehow. So so you have that list, so that will help you. And then the fourth one is to have a chance to do unfinished business. Like you have any work that is undone, you should assign it to people who are still alive, and then so that you don't have to be worried about your work. And the fifth one is to have a chance to ask for forgiveness. Because during your lifetime you might be offense somebody by any means, so you should have a chance to, maybe if you can't go to that person, maybe ask that person to come, and you can ask the forgiveness for him or her. And another way around as well, sometimes somebody offends to you, so you should be able to forgive that person. Maybe ask them to come, and then they ask for forgiveness, and you do that. In Buddhist tradition, we have this phrase, like it becomes a ritual, but I think it's very nice because sometimes people can't do that by themselves. So we have a formula in Pali, and you translate that, saying that whatever wrong action by body, speech, or mind. If you have any specific action or event, you can specific that in, so you can letting go of that. May you forgive me, or I forgive you, or whatever. Then it's good to have that. Otherwise, when you might still attached to this story, somebody offend you, somebody do something bad to you, it doesn't go well. And also, when you do something, you do that to other person, you should be able to ask for forgiveness as well. So with all of that, it's good for the family to come around and ask for forgiveness to each other, so that to able to let go. And then the last one is to find a quiet place. When you about to go, it should be quiet. It shouldn't be people come and crying and makes a lot of noise. So you should be able to find a secluded place. Maybe people can come and meditate together, or do some chanting, or just hold a hand. Let stay with the people who are about to leave, about to leave this world, to prepare them for the next whatever existence. So this is a process. The first one, to have connection with the metta. Metta is the foundation. Second one is the truth. You have to tell the truth to the patients, that they don't have much time left. They should arrange for their business. The third one is to arouse the goodness, the list of whatever punya that they have done in the past. And the fourth one is the unsettled business. Make sure that they can continue on, whatever work that he or she want to finish, have somebody do that for them. And the fifth one is to ask for forgiveness, or giving forgiveness for somebody. And the last one is to find a secluded place to let go. So this is the basically how we preparing going to the next existence. So if we do like this, then the mind is very light and not heavy by the karma, and ready to let go. And if you can let go altogether, then you pass the final exam. You don't have to come back again. But most people are not. But at least, you go to the good destination. And also it's good to take the refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, because then next life hopefully you born as human being, meet the Buddhism again, and have a chance to practice and educate yourself until you're entering Nibbana. So it's good to have the triple gems, the refuge, and also taking the 5 precepts, even at the deathbed, even though you can't break the precept because you are so weak. But again, I think it's very important to confirm, and even though I can't break the precept, but my mind determined to keep this precept until I'm die. So having the refuge in the triple gem, having the precept is your treasure, that you can bring that to next life. And then the fact of your whatever your goodness that you have done in the past, your generosity, write it down, in the books, or this way you can have a photo and put that somewhere, so you can think about that, contemplate that, and the pity, the joy that arises from it will help you cope with the painful state when you are in the last stage of your life, a lot of pain. So that will help you coping with that. So this is in general kind of the crash course on death that we give to the people to come to Buram who want to spend the vasa. So they have to think about that beforehand and write it down. So some people say they want to have their bone floating on the river moon, but some people said they can't swim, so they said let me put it in the air. Some people said let put it under the tree. So some family, they put their ashes in the tree, and then the whole family come, every time they come to the monastery, they will watering and they will take care of that tree. I think it's very, very nice. I think so. You can plan your own your own destination, what to do with your body after you die. Otherwise, people will not know what you want. So, in terms of planning, I think it is good to do that, because for sure one day it's gonna happen. Every day, 100,000 people die, and it's not including COVID. Normally each year 70 or 80 million people die. So every day 100,000 people die. And then this is not including COVID. COVID will be much more than that. So one day it's gonna be you or me. So it's just good to think about that and have it at least elaborate. And then when it happens, you don't have to think about it, because you can go. Okay, you already take care of that, and your mind will be easy to let go of this, put that behind, and then so you can go to the next phase, whatever it is. So it's good for that. So this is talking about the death. And now talking about birth, because today is my birthday, so people come and then offering the piece of cakes, and even the monks sometimes they also giving the birthday cake as well. So we divide it up and give it to the other monks. And what to do? What is about the word happy birthday? Is it the problem in Buddhism? Because the first thing that we chant is called Chatipi Dukkha. Birth is dukkha. The birth is suffering. So it seems to be contradict there. But there's another one called the Sukho Puttha Namupato, the arising of the Buddha, which means the awakening, is happiness. So I think birth here, if you just the physical birth, is just the dukkha, it's just sufferings. But if it's the birth of the Buddha, the birth of the awakening, the birth of compassion, the birth of wisdom, the birth of purity, then that is happiness. So you have to put the right focus. Okay, you can say happy birthday, but birth of what? If it's birth of physical body, then it's not happy. It's suffering, and nobody come out and then laughing and giggling, and they all cry. You can go to the delivery room. Every baby come out. They a lot of suffering. But the birth of the Buddha, the birth of the enlightenment, you have when you train yourself perfect to be enlightened, to be awake from this delusion of samsara, then it's worth celebrate. It can call happy birthday, happy birth of the Buddha day. So this is, and this go hand in hand. When you die from one thing and you reborn in another thing. So whatever die, if the kilesa die, then that is good. And whatever reborn is a wholesome, is the purity, compassion, and wisdom. And then your life is worth living and worth celebrate, to be joy, to give the light of Dhamma to people who follow you. So this is the essence of the death and birth, which is two sides of the same coin. You die from one thing and you reborn in another thing. You just go on and on and on until we understand this. So hopefully that when we born, we'll be able to meet with the teaching of the Buddha and able to practice and able to see the whole how this is work, how the conditionality, the ignorance and the craving, condition, birth, existence. And when you have the wisdom, when you have the purity, then its condition basically is bring you toward nibbana, to the cease of all this suffering. So it's the opposite. The craving is opposite of the makkha, the path. The path will kill the craving, and nibbana is opposite of dukkha, because dukkha is a five khanda. It's a place where you have this these 5 aggregate. But Nibbana is the one who release free from these 5 aggregate. So it's the end of suffering. So it's all in life. Life have this aspect of Four Noble Truth. But most people are only focused on the first two, the suffering and the cause of suffering. Unless they encounter the teaching of the Buddha, then they will have the second half, which is the half of the Nibbana and the path. So this is the life altogether. The fully lived life is the life who can seeing the truth of Nibbana. So that was celebrating, that was happy about it, the happy of the Buddha. So, and it happened to be this year, my birthday is according is falling to the one pra as well. So it's considered as good. That's if it's not the one pra, then it doesn't worth celebrating. It's just another birthday of another person. But because if that person I'm somehow able to have a quality of the monks, which is the Buddha, the quality of the awakening, then that is worth celebrating the sense of awakening from the world. So that is the Dhamma for this day, and so I hope that you all stay safe. I don't know how situation in Singapore and Malaysia. I hear from the news that Malaysia is go back to lockdown again. So hope you stay safe, and it's probably gonna be with us for a while, and it doesn't seem to go away quickly. And even in Thailand now, in my place Ubon, initially they announced that if you are senior citizen, if you are more than 60 or 70, you can walk in and get your vaccine. But then they changed it because they have to pull all the vaccine back to Bangkok, because in Bangkok is so bad that people get infected very quickly, up to the 10,000 and probably more. This is the test one, 10,000. So people have to be forceful for their injection in the place, like outside, not in the central area. So people are very worried now about whether they can get injection or not. So I hopefully that you can get a vaccine, whatever that available for you. I think it's always good. It will help you from getting severe illness, at least keeping you out from the hospital, so you can maybe helping, so you're not getting packed in the hospital. Otherwise the hospital will be overworked. So help by getting vaccine, stay safe, and follow the measure. And again, the most important thing is your mind. During this time of stress and a lot of uncertainty, what to do with my occupation and all those things, don't worry, it never turns. You never guess right, it's always something else. So it's no point of trying to think beforehand, because whatever you think is going to be otherwise anyway. So it's might as well invest in the here and now. Be mindful, be with wisdom and with urgency. Think about death, and then again you're gonna die anyway too. It's maybe sooner or later. It doesn't mean that if you not get COVID, you're not gonna die. It's because the cause of death is not COVID. It's not anything. The cause of death is birth. When you born, then that when you die, that's a direct cause and effect. Birth is the cause of death. So once we born, then we will die for sure. The COVID and thing is just the condition that you happen to die at that particular times. So unless we are get rid of birth, then we have to face death again and again. So the only way is to understand the whole meaning of life and to get away with birth, like the Buddha. He said, there are no more becoming. My rebirth is end. This is my last life It's no longer. I'm not no longer come here. The craving is like a house builder. See you now. You can't build the house for me again. So I hope that this is the Dhamma for reflections on this Ubosasa day and for my birthday as well. So that will be my gift of Dhamma gift to you on my birthday. So that will be hopefully that will help you contemplate on the life and death and how you can practice to transcend all of those and not have to be born again and to reach for the Nibbana and practice Noble Eightfold Path until you realize for yourself that we have the ability, we have the potential. The Buddha is our the first one. He's our role models, and all of us can practice and can realize that by ourselves. The Buddha said, "Come and see." So when we practice the Dhamma, then we can see by ourselves. Okay, so I would like to offer these reflections for you on my birthday.
Annamayang Dhamma Kataya Sadhu Karang Dadamase Sadhu 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 Anumodami. Thank you, Tan Ajahn, again for the very inspiring talk. Let us pay respect to Tan Ajahn again by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Before we end the session, today is the 9th of July. It's also Tan Ajahn Ston's birthday. It is also one plus New Moon Day, Ubosasa Day. We would like to take this opportunity on behalf of everyone, to take this opportunity to first of all show our gratitude to Tan Ajahn for teaching us and guiding us for every Friday for almost a year already. Yes. Thank you, Tan Ajahn, for all the teachings and guidance. It really benefited us a lot. We also like to wish Tan Ajahn good health and well-being. May Tan Ajahn continue to stay safe and healthy. And may Tan Ajahn continue to teach and guide us and many others in order to benefit all sentient beings. And finally, may Tan Ajahn realize the Nibbana soon. Thank you, Tan Ajahn, again.
Okay. You're welcome. So you may do the same. May you also see the Dhamma and follow the path of the Buddha to the end of our suffering. Sadhu, sadhu.
Now, may we invite Tan Ajahn to lead us in the closing homage, please.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Puttang Bhagavantang Abhivatemi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅkhang Namami.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn, once again. We'll see Tan Ajahn again next Friday.
Okay, see you next Friday.
See you, Tan Ajahn.